My name is Maor Malul. I am from MyHeritage, and I am the community manager of the wiki that we have at the company. And I want to show you what we have in the wiki. Okay. So we have in the wiki different articles about different categories that can show you. You can learn not just the basics of genealogy, but also the little things and tricks and how to conduct your family research more effectively. Articles like this one, how to leave your own genealogy paper trail, because it is very important, since in genealogy we always focus on our ancestors, but we also need to focus on how to pass our knowledge to the next generation, to our children, to our grandchildren, and also our research. What do we want to do with it? So this article, for instance, it shows the importance of leaving a paper trail, the steps that we should take in order to create a comprehensive genealogy paper trail, how to document, how to expand, to extend the family, how to organize it, how to keep it, tidy, the ethical considerations, because we also need to take into account privacy, accuracy, cultural sensitivities, and we also have other articles. So, for instance, how to preserve and display your ancestors' textiles, which you might think is not important in genealogy. It is very important because they're objects that have memories, that bring history, that bring, personal connections, emotional connections, and these are also important to keep.
Exactly. I mean, sometimes you have those things and you wonder, well, why do I have those things?
Exactly, like this Hamsa, this belonged to my great-grandmother.
Right.
It wasn't the wooden box that she got when she got married, okay, when her family came from Morocco to Venezuela. I don't know who gave it to her, because she passed away when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But it's
but
mine.
It's special to you.
It's special to me. It's probably not the best silver.
Right.
But the
that
emotional
doesn't matter.
value it has.
Yeah.
And when I have a kid, I'm going to pass it on to my kids.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I totally get that.
So
yeah.
that's one of the things that we should also keep, not just papers and pictures and documents, but also objects. But also we have things explained, how to understand how to the textile, how they work, how to prepare them for preservation, because we need to keep them in one piece in the future, how to store them properly and everything. We have also other articles. Let's say if we go back to the beginning, let's search for an article. Genealogy research is done in different ways in many countries. There are some things that are common to most countries for specific documents, like military records. They're done the same. The information they contain is mostly the same everywhere, but the way to access those documents might differ. In some countries, there are more restrictions regarding privacy, confidentiality, also security information because it's military.
Right.
So, for instance, in Greece, each article about, for example, military records will give you a little background of them, how to research for those, the official information, who to contact, how to contact them. For instance, for Greek military records, you need to be in person. You need to submit a letter of a request, an official request. Okay, why you want to search for those documents? And, I have a family member, and I want to research that.
Right.
And then here we also have the contacts, who to call, who to give phone calls or web, email. Also the proper address if you want to send a snail mail. Also the types of records. Similar, let's say, military records in Russia, not just current Russia, but Russian Empire, which you can find, the information that is available, also a historical background of those documents, explaining how it works, where you can access them. Each section of each article has a see also section with related articles, and also another section inside MyHeritage and his sister's websites, and also other associated websites, military records, where you can learn more.
Yeah.
Webinars, articles on our blog, collections where you can access that information that you're looking for. Also, let's show you.
So things that you can find not only at MyHeritage, but other archives and
that will help you further your research in that particular topic. So let's say, for instance, so we have, for example, so for each state of the U.S., and we're working this also for each Canadian province, each Australian state. hit enter. Still okay. So we have research strategies.
Right.
Okay. And for each state, we explain how to understand the history of the state, how is important the geography, the jurisdiction, because some states and provinces the borders changed. So if you're looking for a record of a specific moment in time, I'll give you an example. Birth records from West Virginia, when there was a moment when West Virginia was part of the state of Virginia. So if you're looking for an ancestor in the early 1700s, and you know that the person was born in West Virginia, no, you need to search in Virginia because that was when West Virginia was still part of Virginia.
Right.
So
right.
in order not to waste time,
Yeah, because you might be looking in the wrong place.
Exactly.
And wondering why I can't find your ancestor.
Exactly. And also the state boundaries, how they changed. The county boundaries, because also the counties changed. In each, also Canadian province and Australian state, the borders changed at some point.
Right.
Understanding the migration waves. Because if you have an ancestor that came from a specific country, you need to understand what was the situation. And sometimes you will find articles related to that particular migration wave.
Right.
Like, let's say, Irish immigration to North America, or Italian immigration to the state of New York.
Right.
Things like that. So to understand better, to give a better context. Also, what you need to search for vital records: birth, death, and marriage. Federal and state records. Not all states conducted federal records. Not all states conducted state records. Which one and also since when is important. Because
right.
Sometimes you may be searching for a census record when that state only started census records like 100 years later. So what's the point?
Right.
So because we want our users, at the end of the day, we want them to conduct their research more effectively. We don't want them to make the mistakes that we did when we started.
Yeah, exactly.
That's basically what we want,
Yeah.
We want because each one of us in our journey in genealogy, we started at some point with nothing.
Right.
Some of us, a few of us, not me, were lucky enough to receive some initiation into genealogy by a grandmother, a grandfather,
or an aunt,
an uncle, an aunt. Exactly. Somewhere, I have friends who received a notebook with family information by the great aunt.
Yeah.
That's a great start. But most people didn't, and they start from scratch. And so those little baby steps, the idea behind the wiki is to guide you on how to do that.
Right.
Those steps.
That's how I got started. I think I was the first genealogist in the family.
Same here. I mean, just based on my memory, my curiosity, because that's what triggers you.
Yep.
So this is for this. We have this for each state, and we plan to to expand it to Canadian provinces, the counties in the UK, Australian states, and also we're also launching a program with Italian regions also.
Right. Oh, that's
because in North America there are a lot of Italian immigrants.
Oh yeah.
And it's not just to search about your Italian ancestor. You need to know, because some parts of Italy was just only unified in the 1800s.
Right.
So if your ancestor came before, and for which province, maybe the documents were not Italian but Austrian. Mm-hmm. Or maybe they were Spanish if they were older, because they were from the southern part of Italy was part of the Kingdom of the Sicilies.
Right.
So it's important to know those little details in order to be more effective when you do your research.
So tell me exactly how to find or get to the wiki.
Okay, so you go to myheritage.com/wiki. Okay, all the articles on the wiki are accessible by anyone. You don't even need to be a member of MyHeritage to access this information. Of course, the collections that we may be pointing out in the articles, some of them may be free of access for everybody. Some of them, you need a subscription on MyHeritage.
Okay. All right.
But the content of the wiki, the tools that we show you how to use them, and the advice that we share is accessible for everybody.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for helping me today. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for the opportunity.